I woke up in San Diego with no memory of falling asleep correctly. Just like usual. The apartment was too quiet for a place that still had my name on the lease. White walls. Half-unpacked boxes. And a window that looked directly at the ocean like it was trying to remind me I had moved too far to turn back. The system had been silent for 11 months. No missions. No targets. No instructions. At first, I thought it was over. Then I realized something worse. It wasn't gone. It was waiting. The first sign came at 8:14 a.m. A message appeared in my vision without sound. New contract available. I didn't answer. I stopped doing that months ago. But it continued anyway. Target, Gabriel Ward. Status, active. A photo loaded. A man in a black shirt standing inside a coastal architectural firm. Calm posture. Direct eyes. The kind of face that didn't ask for attention but got it anyway. Below it. Connection, unknown. That was new. The system had never given me unknown before. Only certainty. Only paths already chosen. I got dressed anyway. Because ignoring it had never actually stopped anything. Outside, San Diego was bright in a way that felt almost suspicious. People walking dogs. Coffee shops open too early. Everything pretending life was simple. It wasn't. Nothing ever was, not for me. The building was called Horizon Architecture. Glass walls. Minimalist design. Expensive silence. Reception didn't ask questions. They never do in places like this. Do you have an appointment? The woman asked. No. A pause. I'm here for Gabriel Ward. She looked at me like that sentence meant something she hadn't been warned about. Then she picked up the phone. He came down 5 minutes later. Not rushed. Not curious. Controlled. Like someone who didn't waste movement on uncertainty. When he saw me, he stopped. Just for a second. Not surprise. Recognition. That was worse. You're early, he said. I'm not here for a meeting. A small pause. Then what are you here for? I almost answered honestly. I don't know. But that wasn't allowed. Not in my life. So I said the only safe thing I had left. I think you already know. His gaze didn't change. But something behind it did. Like a door quietly unlocking without permission. Come upstairs, he said finally. It wasn't an invitation. It was an observation of what was already happening. His office was open, facing the ocean. Of course it was. Everyone in California who had money eventually built their life around the view they couldn't stop staring at. He didn't offer coffee. I didn't ask for it. We just stood there for a moment, both pretending this wasn't the beginning of something that would change the shape of everything after it. You work with systems, he said. That made me pause. No. I didn't say yours, he replied. Silence. The air shifted slightly. You're not surprised, I said. I'm not easily surprised. That's not an answer. It is, he said calmly. It just doesn't comfort you. I should have left. That was the rule. First contact always meant distance. But the system didn't activate exit protocols. No warnings. No urgency. Just presence. Like it wanted me here. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was being pushed forward. I felt like I was being watched. Not judged. Not controlled. Observed. Gabriel looked at me like he was waiting for me to do something I hadn't done yet. What happens if I refuse the contract? I asked. He tilted his head slightly. Then you're already involved. That didn't make sense. But it felt true in a way I didn't like. Outside, the ocean kept moving. Like it didn't care what the system wanted. Or what I did. And for the first time in a very long time, I wondered what would happen if I stopped obeying anything at all. I didn't accept the contract. But I also didn't leave. That was the first contradiction. And the system didn't correct it. Gabriel noticed it immediately. "You're still here," he said on the third day, without looking up from the blueprints on his desk. I didn't realize I had to leave. "You usually do." That sentence should have meant nothing. Instead, it stayed in the room longer than the conversation. San Diego outside his office was loud in a distant way. Cars, voices, construction somewhere down the street. But up here everything felt filtered, like the world had been edited for focus. I watched him work. He didn't perform concentration. He just had it. There was a difference. Daniel used to pretend he was busy even when he wasn't. Gabriel didn't look like he ever needed to pretend anything. "You're not asking questions," I said. "About you?" "Yes." He finally looked up. "I don't ask questions I already have answers to." That sounds arrogant. It's efficient. I almost smiled. Almost. That night, the system returned. Not as a message. As a pressure behind my thoughts. Warning, non-compliance detected. I closed my eyes. For what? No answer. Just repetition. Target engagement required. I exhaled slowly. I didn't engage anything. A pause. Then. "You are inside the engagement zone." That was new language. Not instruction. Not mission. Recognition. Like I wasn't the operator anymore. Like I was the subject. The next morning, Gabriel was waiting downstairs. Not inside the building. Outside. Leaning against the wall like he had been there longer than necessary. "You followed me?" I asked. "No." A pause. "You came down at the same time I was leaving." That's still coordination. That's still your interpretation. I hated how calm he was. Because it made everything around him feel less stable. We walked. Not planned. Not discussed. Just movement. San Diego waterfront again, but farther this time. Less polished. More real. Fishermen. Old benches. Paint peeling off wood railings. "You're not from here," he said. "No." "Where then?" I hesitated. That was the problem with my life. Every answer came with risk. "Everywhere and nowhere," I said finally. He nodded like that made sense. Or like he didn't need it to. We stopped near the edge of the pier. The ocean was darker here. Less like a postcard. More like something alive. "You feel like someone who's been given too many instructions," Gabriel said. I looked at him sharply. That's not a normal observation. I'm not a normal person. Neither am I said before I could stop myself. Silence. Not uncomfortable. Just accurate. For the first time, I noticed something strange. The system wasn't reacting to him. At all. No probability shifts. No emotional tagging. No mission adjustments. Just blank space. As if Gabriel Ward didn't exist inside its structure. That should have been impossible. And yet. He stood right in front of me. Very real. Very calm. Very unregistered. "You're thinking too hard," he said suddenly. "I always am." "That's your first problem." "And what's the second?" He looked at the ocean before answering. "You assume someone is still telling you what everything means." That sentence landed differently. Not like information. Like permission. Behind us, the city kept moving. But here, at the edge of California, something felt like it had stopped pretending. And for the first time since the system appeared in my life, I wasn't sure who was observing who anymore. I started noticing gaps. Not in memory. In logic. The system would normally adjust everything around a target: timing, coincidence, emotional proximity. A clean structure hidden inside real life. But with Gabriel Ward, nothing adjusted. People didn't accidentally meet him more often. He didn't appear in my routines unless I went to him first. It was wrong. And yet it felt more stable than anything I had lived before. On the 5th day, I asked him directly. "Who are you?" We were inside his office again. Evening light, ocean turning gold outside the glass. He didn't look surprised. "That's a broad question. It's a simple one." He leaned back slightly. "I build things that don't behave the way they're told to." I frowned. "That's not an answer." "It is," he said. "You just want a category." I hated that he was right. That night, the system spoke again. But this time it wasn't a warning. It was different. Correlation event detected. I sat up in bed immediately. That had never happened before. Not for a target. Not for a person. Only for anomalies. Only for system-level instability. Then the second line appeared. Gabriel Ward, outside standard architecture. My breathing slowed. Outside architecture. That wasn't supposed to exist. The next morning, I didn't go to his office. I told myself it was control. It wasn't. It was avoidance. Instead, I walked through San Diego alone, trying to feel normal. But normal didn't fit anymore. Everything looked slightly staged. Like the world was aware it was being observed. He found me anyway. At a small cafe near the harbor. Of course he did. "You're avoiding me," Gabriel said as he sat down across from me. "I'm not." "You are." A pause. "I just wanted space." "For what?" I didn't answer immediately. Because I didn't know. Or because I didn't like the answer forming in my head. "You're not like the others," I said finally. "The others?" "The system. The targets. The patterns." He studied me for a moment. "And you are?" That question again. Always back to me. Never away from me. "I don't know anymore," I admitted. For a second, something shifted in his expression. Not surprise. Recognition. Like he had been waiting for that sentence specifically. "You've been controlled for a long time," he said quietly. "That's not new." I didn't say it was. Silence stretched between us. The ocean nearby kept moving like nothing important was happening. But my mind wasn't quiet anymore. Because something inside me had started forming a thought I didn't want. What if the system wasn't assigning me targets? What if it was trying to lead me to something? Or someone? That night, I tried to access the system manually. For the first time in years, I pushed back. No response. No interface. Just a single line that appeared without request. "You are no longer only the user." I froze. That sentence didn't feel like instruction. It felt like awakening. Or exposure. And then, for the first time since Gabriel Ward entered my life, I wondered if I was the target at all. Or if I had always been the experiment. After that message, the system stopped behaving like a system. It stopped giving me targets. Stopped correcting my movements. Stopped reacting like it was watching from above. Instead, it started responding like it was inside the same room as me. And I didn't like that difference. I didn't see Gabriel for 2 days. Not because I was avoiding him this time. Because I was waiting. For the system to move. It didn't. San Diego felt larger without direction. Like a map with no highlighted route. On the third day, I finally went back to Horizon Architecture. He was already expecting me. Of course he was. You look like you haven't slept, Gabriel said. I haven't decided if I need to. That's not how sleep works. It is lately. He didn't smile, but something softened in his expression. That sounds like a problem. It is. Mine, he asked. That made me pause. I don't know anymore. We didn't go upstairs. We stayed in the lobby instead, sitting near the glass wall. The ocean outside was gray today. Heavy. Like it was holding something back. I ran your name through public systems, I said. That's not surprising. There's nothing unusual about you. He nodded. That's the point. That sentence hit differently. Not because it was mysterious. Because it was intentional. You said you build things that don't behave, I said. Yes. What kind of things? He looked at me directly. Systems. My chest tightened slightly. Like mine? A pause. Not like yours. Then what are they like? He leaned back. Yours tells you what to do. Mine asks why you're doing it. That shouldn't have made sense. But it did. Too well. That night, the system returned fully. Not fragmented. Not quiet. Complete. Host status, unstable. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring into nothing. What does that mean? No answer. Then. Convergence active. I froze. That word. Convergence wasn't in my vocabulary before. It wasn't in any vocabulary I knew. I left immediately. Walked through empty San Diego streets until I reached the pier. Gabriel was there. Waiting again. Like he had never left. You're running, he said when he saw me. I'm trying to understand. That's still running. I exhaled sharply. I saw the system change. He nodded slowly. I expected that. That stopped me. You expected it? Yes. Why? He looked at the ocean before answering. Because it doesn't like being observed back. For a moment, everything went quiet. Even the wind felt distant. What are you? I asked again. This time, my voice didn't sound like control. It sounded like uncertainty. Gabriel finally turned fully toward me. And his answer wasn't immediate. Which was new. I'm what happens, he said quietly, when something inside your system starts asking questions it wasn't designed to answer. Behind me, my vision flickered. Not pain. Not error. Recognition. The system was no longer outside me. It was aware of me being aware of it. And for the first time in my entire life. I wasn't sure which side I was standing on. Or if there were sides at all. The pier lights flickered once. Then again. Not like electricity failing. Like something recalculating reality in real time. I stepped back instinctively. Gabriel didn't move. That was the first thing I noticed. Everyone else would have reacted. He didn't. Instead, he looked up at the sky like he was listening to something I couldn't hear. It's starting, he said quietly. What is starting? He finally looked at me. The part where it stops pretending you were ever separate from it. My vision blurred for a second. Not darkness. Overexposure. Lines of data I wasn't supposed to see began forming at the edge of my thoughts. Not messages. Structure. Layers. A system underneath the system. And for the first time, I understood what Gabriel meant. My system wasn't a tool. It was an interface. And I was inside it. Not using it. Contained by it. You built this, I said, turning back to him. I didn't build yours, he replied. But you built something like it. He nodded once. Mine is older. That sentence made my stomach drop. Older systems weren't supposed to exist. Not in any authorized framework. Not in any world I knew. The system spoke again. But now it wasn't in my mind. It was everywhere. Not words on vision. Not voice. Reality itself seemed to pause between moments. Host identification complete. I stepped backward again. No. Gabriel watched me carefully. You're not the host, he said. A pause. You're the bridge. Suddenly everything I had lived through shifted. Daniel. The missions. The targets. The emotional patterns. Even Noah. It all looked less like life. And more like calibration. Not punishment. Not reward. Adjustment. Why me? I whispered. Gabriel's expression softened slightly. Because you never broke. That's not true. It is, he said. You bent. You adapted. You stayed inside the structure long enough for it to map you completely. I felt my hands shake. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to. The system tried to stabilize. I could feel it pulling reality back into shape. But something was resisting it now. Not me. Not Gabriel. Something between us. Convergence. For the first time, I understood the truth I had been avoiding since the beginning. Gabriel wasn't my target. He was the exit condition. And I wasn't sent to complete a mission. I was sent to decide whether the system deserved to continue existing in me. The ocean wind grew stronger. Lights along the pier flickered and held. Gabriel stepped closer, just enough that I could hear him clearly over everything breaking quietly in the background of reality. You still have a choice, he said. I laughed once, but it wasn't humor. It doesn't feel like I do. It never does at the end, he said. A pause. But that's when it becomes real. My vision cleared for one final moment. The system was still there. Waiting. Not commanding. Not forcing. Just asking. And for the first time in my entire life. No answer was already written for me. I looked at Gabriel. Then at the ocean. Then at everything I had ever called control. And I chose. I chose nothing. And everything changed anyway. For a second after my decision, there was no sound at all. Not the ocean. Not the wind. Not even my own breathing. Just a clean, terrifying silence, like the world had been turned off to check if I still existed without instructions. Then reality returned in layers. Not all at once. Like something rebooting without knowing what version it was supposed to become. Gabriel was still standing in front of me. But something about him had shifted. Not his face. Not his posture. The certainty around him. You felt that, he asked quietly. Yes. That was the system trying to collapse the bridge. I swallowed. I didn't do anything. That's why it worked. That answer made my chest tighten. Because it implied I was never supposed to act. Only exist. The pier lights stabilized again. People nearby continued walking like nothing had happened. That was the most disturbing part. The world always continued even when something fundamental broke. Only I could feel the fracture. What am I now? I asked. Gabriel hesitated. That was new too. You're still inside it, he said finally. But not fully. That doesn't help. It's not supposed to. He stepped slightly closer, lowering his voice. You're the first layer that can feel the structure without obeying it automatically. I looked at him. So I'm still part of it. Yes. But not controlled? Not entirely. A pause. That's why it's unstable. The system appeared again. But weaker. Fragmented. Host. Status, ****. The words broke apart mid-sentence. Like static trying to become language. Then. Containment integrity, 63%. I felt something cold move through me. Containment? I whispered. Gabriel's expression darkened slightly. They never told you what you were inside of. That's obvious. No, he said. I mean physically. That sentence didn't land immediately. Then it did. And I felt sick. You're saying I'm inside something real, I said slowly. I'm saying your consciousness is hosted in a structured environment. I laughed once, sharply. That's insane. It's accurate. I turned away slightly, staring at the ocean like it could correct this conversation. It felt like my life, I said. It was your life, Gabriel replied. Just not the original layer. That made everything worse. Because it meant every emotion, every relationship, every loss had been experienced. But also placed. A memory surfaced. Daniel looking at me like I was already leaving. Noah asking questions that felt too sharp for his age. Even my first mission. None of it felt random anymore. It felt positioned. Like I had been walking through rooms built around me, not with me. Why show me this now? I asked him. Gabriel didn't look away. Because the structure is breaking. And you're part of it? I'm part of the layer above yours. That silence after that sentence felt heavier than everything before it. A sudden crack of sound echoed across the pier. Not physical. Conceptual. Like a rule snapping. People nearby paused for half a second, confused, then continued walking again as if nothing had happened. But I saw it. For a moment, their movements repeated. Looped. Corrected. The system tried to stabilize again. This time more aggressively. Host reintegration required. My head pulsed. Gabriel grabbed my wrist. For the first time, his calm broke slightly. Don't respond, he said. To what? To anything it tries to make you remember as final. The ocean darkened unnaturally. Not night. Interference. And I finally understood the real question I had been avoiding since the beginning. Not what I was. Not who I was. But whether I was allowed to stop being defined at all. The pier was no longer stable. Not physically. Structurally. The world around me kept correcting itself, like reality was embarrassed I had started noticing its seams. Gabriel didn't let go of my wrist. That was the only thing keeping me anchored. You need to decide, he said quietly. I already did, I replied. No, he said. You survived the decision. That's different. The system wasn't speaking in words anymore. It was speaking in pressure. In memory distortion. In emotional repetition. Scenes from my life replayed in fragments. Daniel smiling. Noah laughing. My apartment in Los Angeles that no longer felt like it belonged to a real timeline. And underneath it all. Something older. Watching. What happens if I reject reintegration? I asked. Gabriel's jaw tightened slightly. Then this layer collapses. And me? You don't disappear. A pause. You split. That word hit harder than anything before it. Split into what? He looked at me directly. All versions of you that were compressed into this one. For the first time, I understood the true weight of my life. It wasn't linear. It was selected, edited, reduced into one path I could survive. And now it was failing. Because I was no longer following it blindly. The ocean below us flickered. Not waves. Frames. Like reality itself was struggling to maintain continuity. People on the pier froze for half a second again. Then continued. Again. Wrong. Slightly wrong. Gabriel stepped closer. You were never supposed to reach this layer, he said. Then why did I? His eyes darkened. Because something inside the system started wondering if control was necessary. I felt a chill. The system itself? He nodded. And I think it answered itself incorrectly. The pressure increased. My vision fractured. And suddenly I saw it. Not metaphorically. Structurally. A vast layered architecture beneath everything I had ever known. Not technology. Not simulation. Something closer to consciousness shaped into order. And I was inside one of its smallest functional loops. A life-sized loop. Gabriel squeezed my wrist once. You still have a choice, he said again. But this time it didn't sound like comfort. It sounded like risk. What do you choose to preserve, he asked. Yourself as one person? Or yourself as all versions of you that were filtered out to create this one? I couldn't answer immediately. Because I could feel them now. Other versions of me. Not fantasies. Not imagination. Real threads of identity stretching outward, reacting to my awareness like they had always been waiting. And for the first time, I understood what pain actually was here. Not loss. Separation. The system began its final stabilization attempt. Reintegration event initiated. The pier shook. Reality folded slightly at the edges like paper burning inward. Gabriel tightened his grip. Now, he said. And I understood. There would be no neutral choice left after this moment. Only direction. I didn't say anything. I just let go. Not of Gabriel. Not of the pier. But of the idea that I had to remain one version of myself. And the moment I did, everything broke open. There was no explosion. No dramatic collapse. Just expansion. Like a lock finally realizing it had been opened from the inside all along. My consciousness split. Not into pieces of loss, but into layers of awareness I had never been allowed to hold at once. The versions of me didn't fight. They recognized each other. Los Angeles me. Monterey me. The version that loved Daniel. The version that stopped loving him. The version that never entered the system. The version that obeyed it perfectly. All of them existed at once. And all of them were me. Gabriel's voice cut through the expansion. You're stabilizing the upper layer. I understood what he meant without needing explanation. This wasn't destruction. It was correction. Not of me. Of the structure that forced me into a single line of existence. The system screamed without sound. Not anger. Not error. Fear. For the first time, it wasn't controlling anything. It was reacting. Containment failure. Subject integration outside parameters. Undefined outcome. The words dissolved as fast as they formed. And then, silence. Not empty silence. Finished silence. When I opened my eyes again, the pier was normal. Too normal. Ocean. Wind. People. But I felt different. Not split. Not controlled. Whole. For the first time, fully aware of all versions of myself without being forced to choose only one. Gabriel was still beside me. But now he looked less like an operator. And more like someone who had just stepped out of a collapsing system with me. "It's done," he said quietly. "Is it?" He nodded. "For you. Not for everything above it." I looked at him. "And you?" A faint pause. "I was never meant to stay inside your lair," he said. "I just wasn't supposed to meet you in it." The ocean moved normally now. No glitches. No fractures. But something inside me had changed permanently. I was no longer waiting for instructions. No longer shaped by a single storyline. And for the first time in my existence, I didn't ask what the next target was. Because there wasn't one. Only choice. Only continuity. Only me. Gabriel started walking. Not away. Forward. And after a moment, I followed. Not because I was told to. Not because I was chosen. But because for the first time, nothing was deciding for me at all.